Hi guys, welcome to Cake and It Special with me, Lauren. This week we are carrying on the Christmas spirit and we're making a snowman cake. So here we go. I start with 4 8-inch vanilla cakes. This week I'm going traditional with a vanilla sponge, seedless raspberry jam and vanilla buttercream. I'm stacking this cake on a 10-inch drum with a plastic rod attached to the centre. This just helps me to keep the support of the cake. So I start with the body of my snowman. I lay down a layer of cake through the rod, add a nice layer of buttercream, then I put the jam into a piping bag and drizzle that on. Then I do this with the rest of my 8-inch cakes. When that is stacked, I'm going to put this in the fridge and going to build the head of the snowman in the same way using 3 6-inch vanilla cakes. I'm building the head on a 4-inch cake board with a hole already in it ready to go through the rod. I'm building it on a smaller board because I'm going to carve this cake around and it's going to be much smaller at the bottom than it is at the minute. Now that both cakes are layered, they're both going to need to go in the fridge to set up before I start to carve. I carve the body of the snowman by rounding off the top and bottom edge, but taking off more as it goes to the top. For the head, I'm just rounding out the cake. I'm leaving it flat on top because the snowman will have a hat. Keep working your way around both cakes until you're happy. And then it's time for your crumb coat. A crumb coat is a very thin layer of buttercream that locks all the crumbs into the cake and keeps them out of the way during decorating. I leave both cakes in the fridge for around 20 minutes to allow the buttercream to set. Then you can go ahead and add another layer of buttercream. I use my flexible smoother to help keep this layer as smooth as possible. Cover both of these cakes in white fondant as well as the 10-inch board. A traditional fondant smoother will have straight edges and there are no straight edges on this snowman cake. So what I'm going to do is roll up a ball of fondant and use that to smooth the fondant on the cake. I add 4 dowels to the body of my snowman. This is just going to support the head. and then I can place his head on top. Again, don't worry about the rod being too long because we are going to put a hat on soon. For the gap in between the head and the body, I'm going to fill it in with some fondant just to give it more of an even surface before I add the scarf. For the scarf, I push tubes of red and green fondant next to each other, then roll it out so it becomes one long piece. I have an impression stamp that creates a knit effect that I push into the fondant before cutting out 3 strips. I attach them to the snowman with just a little bit of water. And then I use some more of the red and green fondant to add little pieces for tassels on the end of the scarf. I use a bowl tool to push some eye sockets into the snowman's head. And I use a veining tool to create his smile. For the snowman's arms, I wrap brown fondant around a wooden skewer, again attaching with a little bit of water. I cut off the fondant at the part that needs to be inserted into the cake. I also cut little pieces away from the stick just to give it more of a realistic effect. I put some black fondant into his eyes, attaching them with a little bit of water. And I also add some black buttons. I use some more of my black fondant to create the brim of the hat. I do this by covering a 4-inch cake board several times. I also use the black fondant to create the top of the hat as well, and add a little red fondant around the hat for the ribbon. I use some white fondant to blend some eyelids into my snowman's head. I also give him some catch lights. I blend the eyelids in just by using a little bit of water and my finger. I make a carrot nose out of orange fondant and Tylose powder and attach that with a lollipop stick. And then finally I give him some rosy cheeks with some pink petal dust. And there he is, snowman cake. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next Wednesday at 5 PM GMT, and until then, please subscribe and share. Share. Thanks. guys. Bye.